We've now written a method that will test our sorting method, and it's not bulletproof. I want to point that out, right? All it does is test a single input, but nonetheless provides us with pretty strong evidence whether our sorting method works or not. You can make it bigger if you want, but it's better than nothing. Now, you might be a little curious about what JUnit is exactly. Like, what is this huge thing that I've just introduced in the code? Where do I know about that from? What else can JUnit do? And we'll get there later in this lecture. But for now, we're going to plow on ahead. And we're going to actually try and write our sort method, and we'll circle back to JUnit's general capabilities later. So in order to write a sort, we need a technique for sorting. And the one I'm going to introduce here is something called selection sort. The way it works is you're given an array. I'm going to show an array of numbers here because they fit on the slide more easily. And we're going to try and put them in order. So the way it works is we find the smallest item in the array, and we know that one needs to be at the front. So then we'll move it to the front. And in my case, what I'm showing here is I'm actually swapping it with whatever used to be in the front. Then what I'll do is I'll look at the remaining 5 items, and I will say which one's the smallest. And whichever one of those is the smallest, I'll then swap it to the front of those items that I still have in green. I will then proceed and look at the last 4 items and find the smallest, in this case 3, put it in the front of the green items. Okay, next comes 6, then finally 7, and we end up with a sorted array. And you can actually prove that this works using the notion of invariance that we discussed in earlier lectures. So this sorting algorithm, pretty simple, works well. And one little question you might ask yourself is, why did I do this strange swapping thing? Why not just put 1 at the front and move everything else over by 1? And that's something for you to consider on your own, and I'll include it in the study guide. Okay, so hopefully you understand what selection sort is. If not, try writing one out on paper, do it yourself, and make sure it fits in your brain and makes sense. Once you know what selection sort is, we're ready to start implementing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to emulate the thought processes of what I imagine a student who just wants to jump in and start building things might do, right? This is going to be an approach that's very greedy in the sense that I'm going to look at the shiniest and most exciting new thing to work on, grab that, start working on it, and I'm not going to have a lot of forethought and big design. I'm going to do things step by step, little by little, and what's going to make everything work in the end is I'm going to build tests that will catch errors that I might make along the way. I'm not going to show all the incremental development in the slides. Everything's going to be in the video. So for those of you who like paging through slides, be warned, the story is all going to be in video and not in slides. And so to get a sense of where we're going to be going in the future videos, when I try and write my selection sort, I'm going to just look here and say, in my sort method, I basically have 3 steps. I find the smallest item, I move it to the front, and then lastly, I selection sort the rest using recursion, perhaps? We'll see. And so what we're going to do in the following videos is fill in these 3 pieces, and I'll see you when we get to those.